Hey everyone, Bill Sheridan with the MA CPA here. Quick quiz, what is the FAF? And if you don't know, don't feel bad, you're not alone. I think it's one of those things that a lot of CPAs probably should know more about, but still aren't quite familiar with. The short answer is the FAF is the Financial Accounting Foundation. It's the parent organization of both the Financial Accounting Standards Board and the Governmental Accounting Standards Board, and it's taken on a much higher profile in the last few years, thanks to a number of key initiatives. Tom Hood and I ran into Terri, who is the CEO of the FAF. We ran into her at the 2012 XBRL US conference in Austin, and she agreed to sit down and talk with us a little bit about the FAF's mission and about some of the progress that's been made in some of those initiatives, including private company accounting standards. Now, Tom Hood conducted this interview, so let's listen in to what Tom and Terri have to say about the FAF.
The other one that I commented to you, we do these town hall meetings, and always I'm talking about standard setters. So many times I'll put a question out saying, who knows who FAF is? And a lot of times my CPAs, many who've been out quite a while in the profession, go, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So, but I've noticed in the last few years, you guys have been a lot more public. You have a website. You're out.
Right.
Tell me about that. What's driving that, and where do you see that going?
I'd say it's some of the key strategic issues that have come up over the last few years have really shown the need for the FAF to be more public,
yeah,
and demonstrating the oversight that it has over the FASB and the GASB. It's funny because when Jack Brennan was appointed as the FAF chairman back in 2009, one of the first things he did was go on a listening tour. So the trustees and I packed up our bags and we went around the country. And it was funny because just like you just said, many people said, I never even knew there was an FAF until I got the letter inviting me to come to this meeting,
right,
which was very eye-opening for us. But at the time we had a number of strategic issues that we felt we were facing, and we also wanted to hear what people were thinking about how the FASB and the GASB were doing. And it's sort of out of that effort where PIR, Post-Implementation Review, came into being. We had some other data sources that helped create that process,
right,
but we certainly heard it from constituents that we met with. We certainly heard about the private company issue from the FASB perspective. And you can see that as a result of there's a few other things too, but as a result of those meetings, and that was back in 2009, so 3 years ago, we still have ongoing initiatives that are close to fruition, but that those meetings really helped us to think about things from the perspective of our constituents. And I also think from the constituents' perspective, it helped them to know that there was an FAF, and that the FAF took its responsibilities seriously, and that it does provide oversight of the standard setting process, not the technical outcomes. Right. So don't come lobby us if you don't like lease accounting, but certainly in terms of process and what are some of the strategic issues that our stakeholders see. Well,
I applaud you for doing that. I mean, I think it connecting. We try to do this a lot to try to connect our members to the regulators. People, we've been so far removed, if you will, as the profession and the world's gotten bigger and more complex. So being able to bring that down a little bit, even in those kind of sessions, is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, private company standards. We know Maryland. We weighed in on that. We appreciate that you took all that input. What's the state of where it is? When do you think the first one might emerge?
Yep. So first of all, I have to say the process has been fabulous, and just in terms of our learning, it has been incredible from the stakeholders who have participated in it and provided us with input. We issued our report in May, which talked about the Private Company Council. We had a nominations period for the month of June. We got well over 100 nominees. Over the month of July, the trustees went through those. And then over the course of August and continuing now, we are interviewing candidates. So we've interviewed over 20 candidates, for a group that's going to be 9 to 12 people. Been very gratified at the quality of the candidates, all of the nominees. So it's going to be a tough decision to try to select, who the finalists are. But I think we are very much on target to announce the group by the end of September. And then our plans would be that they would have their first meeting in probably early December is the dates that we're targeting. Now, in terms of their work plan, I guess the first thing that we would expect would be on their agenda, but they have control of their agenda,
Yeah.
but I would think the first thing will be to take a look at the framework that the FASB just put out, or the FASB staff really just put out on how you decide when and whether modifications are appropriate. So we would think that first thing the group would look at the input that the FASB is receiving on that as we speak. And then I think they need to huddle and sort of decide, well, what are the issues that we need to tackle? I mean, we heard a laundry list of them, fair value, FIN 48, consolidation of VIEs, all of those, right? Stock compensation.
You got them all.
Yeah. So I think they're going to have to just take a look, and then timing.
Prioritize.
Prioritize timing. It's going to depend on their ability to get up and running. But we're anticipating an energetic group that's going to get right on these things, meet 5 or 6 times a year, and so I think we'll certainly see an active group in 2013. Whether we're actually finish something,
right.
I think that remains to be seen. But I think they're going to get off the ground running.
Cool. And so, is there anything else? I mean, this is your chance to talk to our members and constituents. Anything you want to tell other CPAs or that we should be thinking about relative to standard setting and what you're working on?
Well, I would say, from the FASB perspective, there's a lot going on with some of the projects that they're going to be completing with the IASB on revenue recognition, leasing, insurance, financial instruments. So there's a lot going on from that perspective.
Yeah.
But I think what we need to do is then think, okay, what happens after that? So you get those major projects completed, and I think that it would be useful to have your CPAs and your members be thinking about, well, what are some of the technical issues that may need some attention after that? Because I think we need to start, looking towards the future and what comes next.
Well, good. Well, if there's anything we can do to help you, we appreciate it. And
Great.
Thank you
Yes,
for doing this little interview.
My pleasure.